Hello, beautiful souls. So here we are again, reading another amazing A Course in Miracles lesson. So today's lesson is lesson 68, Love Holds No Grievances. And since we realized and experienced yesterday that love created me like itself, we realize that in being love, love can hold no grievances. So let's see what the full-on lesson brings for us today. You who were created by love like itself can hold no grievances and know yourself. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. It is the decision to let the ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. So, even as the first little paragraph brings forward, that to be love is to know what we are. And to know that we were created by love itself. And yet to hold a grievance in our mind, which is merely a judgment or an angered thought or a painful negative thought onto a brother, then we are really just believing ourselves to be the ego thoughts that are in our mind. We're believing ourselves to be this body and therefore condemning ourselves to death, because in believing this body, we are this body, we believe that we can die. So we're getting to see the two distinctions here in thought systems. So Jesus is continuing forward. Perhaps you do not yet fully recognize just what holding grievances does to your awareness. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. It makes you believe that he is like what you think you have become, for no one can conceive of his creator unlike himself. So we will see what we think we are. We hold grievances, we are not seeing ourselves as God sees us. Period. Shut off from yourself, who remains aware of his likeness to his creator, yourself seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Oh yes. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love, and his creator has become fearful to him in his dreams of hate. Who can dream of hatred and not fear God? I love this because even this paragraph is reminding me of the course lesson that we just did a few days ago. My only function is the one God gave me. So if God gave us our function of forgiveness, and that our happiness and our function are one, then if we are experiencing hatred or attack or judgment or jealousy or pain of any kind, then it is not happiness, and it is not as God created us, and therefore we must call on our function of forgiveness to heal our minds and bring it back into right perception, so that we may see ourselves as God created us to be, which is love. And love holds no grievances. So if we hold grievances in our mind, we have yet to know what we are, and that's okay. We must call upon our function again. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will redefine God in their own image as it is certain that God created them like himself and defined them as part of him. So that was a big sentence, but in essence, if we hold grievances in our mind, then we're going to see God based on what we hold in our mind. Just like we are going to see this world based on what we hold in our mind. It's the same thing. So if we hold grievances, we have yet to truly experience the all-encompassing eternal divine love of our Father. Or we may have had glimpses, but then the veil continues to fall down. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will forget who they are, as it is certain that those who will forgive will remember. Would you not be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all this were so? I love it. So this is even a play on the English words here, right? So for those who hold grievances will forget. Right? So we're all forgetting. We're all for the self. We're all for the body. So we have forgotten who we are and we're sleeping. But in forgiving, we are all for giving. Then in the extension and in the sharing, much like God gives his love, in the forgiving, we will remember, we will awaken to the truth of what we are as love and only love. So there's only two ways to go. Either we forgive and we remember, or we hold grievances and we judge and therefore we forget. And we're just sleeping. So once we know this awareness that it's two distinct thought systems, then it comes back to choice. It comes back to choice. What voice am I going to listen to? What mind am I going to see through? Perhaps you do not think you can let all your illusions go. That, however, is simply a question of motivation. Today we will try to find out how you would feel without them. If you succeed even by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. I love it. Motivation, the willingness, is what brings us to the healing of our minds. And we can let all grievances go to the extent with which we are willing and motivated to do so. And this is a fact. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as major grievances. Babe, if I ask you quickly what your definition of a grievance is, what is it?
A wish that your past experience with someone is different than it was, or that you demand punishment of someone else for something in the past.
Okay, so it always has to do with the past. So in essence, it's a wish that the past was different than it was, or a wish that someone else is to blame or to, be condemned or attacked because of what happened in the past. Cool. Thank you, babe.
I'm not saying it's right.
Oh, no, I asked you what your... Yeah, and it resonates deeply with me, so it works for me. So begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as a major grievance. Some of these will be quite easy to find. Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like, and even those you think that you love. So we're searching for the big grievances, but also the small grievances today. Just even the small little knickknacks, the small little tweaks, the small little frustrations. Those too are grievances that we hold within our mind. It will quickly become apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. So once we begin looking inward, we'll begin to see that we hold grievances against most people. And we will when we're in predominantly the ego-thinking mind. So when we still think that we are this body that can experience pain and death, then we will be holding grievances in our mind about ourselves and about others. It is inevitable. So we're looking for them today so we can bring them up, correct them, and let them go. This has left you alone in all the universe in your perception of yourself. You're the only one who sees yourself the way that you see yourself. You're alone there in that regard. Determine now to see all these people as friends. Say to them all collectively, thinking of each one in turn as you do so, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. So as we see all those relationships within our mind, within our life, in our past, in our current day time, and we look at all of them, then we can see them all collectively and ask and pray, I would see you as my friend. So that as I see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. Thank you. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world which protects you and loves you and which you love in return. And when we are willing to have this experience, it is the Holy Spirit that will show us the truth of this experience inwardly. So all we have to do is be willing to see everyone surrounded in peace so that we're all together in this bubble of peace here, experiencing it in this world of peace. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. Nothing can harm you in any way. At the end of the practice period, tell yourself, love holds no grievances. When I let my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. The short practice period should include a quick application of today's idea in this form. Whenever any thought of grievance arises against anyone, physically present or not. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. So this could be our little mantra throughout the day. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. And it's self, capital S, big self, not little self. In addition, repeat the idea several times an hour in this form. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all grievances aside and wakening in Him. So I'll read that one last time so we can let it sink into our heart, and we'll say this several times an hour. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in Him. This is the call we're making today, the call to peace, the call to love, the call to serenity, where we are free of all grievances, of every single person that is in our life. And we can do this when we call upon a miracle, when we call upon love, when we say these prayers and truly mean these prayers. This is the practice of mind training beautiful souls to move from the illusions to the truth. And this is what I want to experience with all of you today. So as you have your experiences of applying these lessons, please share. We love to hear from you and continue to communicate back and forth. So I love you all. Have a blessed day, and remembering that love holds no grievances.